Welcome back to our coverage of the Halo 5 Pro Series. We've got Power up against Cartel, or should I say Notorious up against Cartel, as they've had a late name change. And all the good ones in here: Legend, Sika, Shady, SLG up against Jimbo, Kimbo, Moses, Snipe Drone. We had it last week. We had a game 5. We had Madness. Harry, it's gonna be a good one.
It is. Every single time I've seen these two teams go head to head, it's gone the distance. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Notorious, formerly known as Power, have a point to prove, a chip on their shoulder after losing last week. Was it last week or however? The last cup. They basically snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. They were maybe 10 points away from winning an oddball in game 4, and then Cartel come back. Then they win the game 5. Then known as Power, now known as Notorious. They need to put that wrong right, and what a stage and what an occasion to do it here in the season finals of the Halo 5 Pro Series.
If Notorious can get through somehow, get through this Cartel roster, they will have Mocket to face in the finals, and maybe they can right that wrong as well. Maybe correct 2 wrongs in one weekend, and wouldn't that be a story? But they still have to get through this Cartel roster, who they've only ever beaten the one time, and at that stage it was Precision Knight filling in for Legend, and Legend has not yet to lose a series on the Cartel roster, Harry.
Yeah, Kimbo here with a big double to grab his favourite weapon in the game, the sniper. We've seen previously in the history books what this man can do with this weapon, and although he doesn't pull the trigger there, that's information knowing that they're going to rotate around to this sniper tower, so he knows he needs to play a little bit more towards his team, and I like this flank through the window here as well. If he gets this kill, he can run at elbow, which he's going to try and do, but instead he goes down, and luckily Snipe Drone's there to trade off Legend, otherwise that would have been a free sniper over to the hands of Cartel.
Snipe Drone just was a little bit too passive there, and he's donated the snipe rifle as well as that flag opportunity, because he rested on his laurels for a moment. It gave Cartel just enough time to get back in as Shady lands the body shot onto Kimbo, and Snipe Drone takes him down off the respawn. But they're putting good pressure on here, are Notorious.
They are, but I think Cartel will maybe take a bit of confidence from the fact that the last time these two teams played on this game type, it was over in less than 2 minutes. Power won 3-0 in a ridiculously quick game, and the fact that we're still probably going to be in the same kind of position in terms of scoreline coming up to that 2-minute mark. I think the longer this game goes on, Cartel are going to love life here. SLG playing back base is so smart. He knew his team lost the first kill in the team fight, so on the kill feed you saw him take down Snipe Drone. That's going to prevent a flag opportunity, and right now for me, I think Notorious are playing a little bit too double-sided. They're trying to push from both sides, and you can see Mose here has absolutely no chance to stop this flag. This flag is going to go in.
Ooh,
surely.
Maybe not.
Well, maybe not actually, because there is a flank coming in here from Mose and from Jimbo. Jimbo's taken down, Mose taken down as well. Surely this is the first flag, and it is. Cartel up 1-0.
How has that just happened? How have them events transpired? It looked as though Notorious, that's going to flip you up every single time I try to say it. Notorious, it looked as though they had all the ingredients to get a cap, but no, Cartel go up the other end, down by sniper side, and like you said, they were a little bit disjointed, a little bit too tentative, and that's 1-0 to the boys in blue.
Yeah, you just maybe like to see a bit more of a cohesive push. They're trying to push both sides of the map here, Power at once, and it ultimately led to their demise. Jimbo was taken down with the sniper, and yeah, I keep calling him Power, but Spilly in our ear, who is also in Halloween costume, I'm hearing, I believe that's right. It's just corrected me. They're called Notorious. A few people wondering why they changed the team name. They could maybe think it's a jinx. I mean, that's genuinely, I don't think Notorious is an org. I think they just weren't getting the success they wanted out of the Power name. You're superstitious. It is Halloween, so SLG tags the player with the sniper, and off our screen, Legend and Shady doubling up on the elbow side. This could be a real problem here for Power, as Legend's able to get this flag so far. This could be a second flag capture here, Richie.
We're almost seeing a complete flip of the script from last week, as Coliseum flag went, like Harry says, 3-0 in favor of Notorious, but this week it looks as though Cartel have corrected the errors that they had and recognized the problems that was posed in the first game, and look, they've just flipped completely, like I say, flipped the script here.
They have, and the way Legend is playing on this elbow side of the map is causing Notorious, all kinds of problems, gets the beat down as well. Kimbo will go down. The flag can continue to be moved by Legend now. This could be the third and final flag. There is one extension left. They have to overextend here, Power. Otherwise, Legend is going to cap the final flag.
They have to win their fights now, the Notorious, but unfortunately 2 members fall. It's going to ask a lot of the remaining 2 members, and unfortunately they cannot get the job done, and that's going to be 3-0. And how much is that Mucket series still in the heads of Notorious right now?
Oh, potentially playing on the minds of the former Power roster. We'll take a quick look at the stats. Legend 14-6. I think I saw someone in the chat earlier on say Legend actually is undefeated in Halo 5 Pro Series tournaments. He hasn't lost a single series
Incredible.
Throughout the entire tournament. And that's going back through Open Cups and now here at the season finals as well. 14-6 from him is an absolutely huge game, not only because of the stats and the numbers that represent it, but also the way he and teammates were doubling up on the elbow side. It was causing Notorious all kinds of problems. We said it in the commentary. It's something that Notorious were trying to do on both sides of the map, and it just doesn't work when you push both sides. You have to try and secure one side of the map, make it safe, and then run the flag that way. It didn't work out for Notorious, and their woes in this tournament continue. They have to turn it around pretty soon, otherwise they're going to finish top 4.
Yeah, you generally like to see a 3-1 split, 3 towards Snipe side, 1 playing that Rocket side, or alternatively you send all 4 players over towards that Rocket side and you really utilize the power and the strength that you have on that side and really push the other team off the respawn and really play your game. But unfortunately, Power unable to do so like they did last week. This time it was Cartel who dictated the pace, and now we went to Slayer, and they need to bounce back, and they need to bounce back right now, Wonderboy.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. T and Crumpets. He was the man who provided the stat that Legend hadn't actually lost. He's undefeated. Thank you, Mr. T and Crumpets. Does a great job of rounding up the tournaments as well on Twitter. We're on Regret Slayer now in Game 2, and well, it's all about this Overshield fight every 2 minutes, and well, for Notorious, it's gone horribly wrong. 4 down for them. Shady with the Overshield, and well, it's a nightmare start for them.
Not the start they needed, not the start they wanted, but it's the start they got. And Shady has the Overshield and has Moes in his sights, takes him down takes a little chunk off his shield. 2 players from Notorious up in the attic, takes down 2 members, and look at that. That's 7-2, and it's going to be it's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of hurt here for Notorious if they can't answer back fast.
Yeah, saving grace for Notorious here is that there wasn't players top middle for Cartel to capitalize on the fresh 4 down. Often on Regret, when you get 4 down, you're caught in a spawn trap for the next 2 or so minutes until you break out of it. But luckily for them, they did not have anyone on top middle in terms of Cartel members to put them to the sword. But the scoreline still reflects a real swing in dare I use the pun, power here in this series. 12-4. And Notorious here, they just seem out of sorts. I'm looking on the player outlines, they're all down low, no effort to get top middle and fight around the heightened areas of the map, and Kimbo goes down pushing by himself. This is so uncharacteristic of this lineup, Richie. We usually see them so coordinated, they're so experienced, but right now Cartel, they do go 3 down, but they're making them look like amateurs.
This is the time now for Notorious. They need to put the foot on the gas now, really eat into that lead, which they have. They're now within 4 kills. Mo is in a 1v1 against SLG, and maybe Snipe Drone can provide some sort of cover from across the map. As Sika and Legend win their engagements individually across the map, and that's going to spell trouble for Snipe Drone, who answers back onto Sika. Now needs to play his life and wait for his teammates to spawn back up.
Yeah, great time to get a kill as well. You can see all the players up top are going to drop down low now to fight for this Overshield, and there's 2 kills going to Notorious. This could be their route back into this game, but no, the bird comes in from Seeker. They get the kills through Notorious, and that allows them to come within 2, but the Overshield would have been the cherry on the cake to maybe snatch the momentum back here on Regret.
They do have a couple of members trapped in the base, but unfortunately it was split spawns for them, and they were able to answer back on the opposite side of the map. They had 2 members of each side of the bases, and that's not what you want to see. And unfortunately that player was caught unawares and shot in the back and taken down, but still within 2 kills, and that's to say Notorious done a really good job of getting themselves back in here.
Yeah, they just need to keep playing their lives here and continue contesting for the heightened areas of the map. It's good to see them all get back on the same page. They haven't lost the entire series yet, and that's where that experience factor comes into play. Mose is taken down by SLG. No players touching the plasma caster just yet. I wonder if Legend will try and scoop that one up, but this could be real problems here for Notorious. Big fight from Kimbo, because 2 of his teammates just went down, and that could have been a potential spawn trap on the losing end for Notorious, but a big fight from Kimbo prevents that from happening.
Yep, they've recovered from the early wobble in this game, but still down by 4 kills. It's still a tough ask to not let alone win a game, but to come back from a deficit against this Cartel roster. They've proven they can do it. They've done it before. They did it last week. They were within 5 oddball seconds of winning the series against Cartel and taking the finals, but they need to get 6 kills here, and maybe 1-1 we can see a different team and they can regain and recover.
Yeah, about 20 seconds until the next overshield comes up, so while SLG is flanking the base here, he's going to surrender height control fairly shortly just to secure bottom middle, and I'm looking to see where the plasma pistol is on our player cards. We can't see it anywhere, so if someone's able to scoop this overshield away without it being burned, it could be a huge play for the rest of this game. They're only down by 5 currently on Notorious, but Snipe Drone doesn't know there's a player right next to him. It's Legend and Seeker and Co are bottom middle. Legend grabs the overshield, and guess what? It's gonna spell trouble for Notorious. The man who's undefeated in Halo 5 Pro Series tournaments has now got an extra layer of shields, although now it's all gone. They do have an 8-point lead though.
Legend got the overshield, and all Kimbo could do was stand still, bottom middle, stare at him and crouch twice to let him know he admitted defeat. The white flag came up and Legend took that kill as free as a dicky bird, and now up by 9 kills. It's a long road back and a long road to redemption for Notorious here. And it looks as though Legend and Co just not stepping off the gas whatsoever, not giving them any sort of relievance. Jimbo now gets taken down by Legend as well. So what you're telling me, Wonder Boy, is I just need to pick up Legend and I'll win all the cups next season. That's
how it works. Whoever secures this man is a shoo-in for a good chunk of prize money. What's crazy about this Regret Slayer game is that I can't even pinpoint a real area where Notorious are struggling. It's not like they're pushing 1 versus 1. It's not like they're taking the individual fights. We saw as Legend goes down with a killing spree, we saw Mose and Kimbo working together to try and get top middle control, but SLG and Co are just shutting the coordinated team pushes from Notorious down. And well, we're in the dying dregs of the game, and Cartel continue their European dominance. It's 50-37 on Regret Slayer to go 2-0 up against Notorious.
They're looking extremely impressive, and Mocket will be looking at this series here, and they'll be looking at it with bated breath, waiting to see who comes through to reach them in the finals. And they probably would have been fancying maybe to play against Power or Notorious, as Cartel look imperious at the moment, and Mocket will have their hands full with them. But of course, there's still one more map, and maybe potential of a reverse sweep if Power can recover right now. But we're going to need to see signs of life immediately here, Wonder Boy.
We are, but it's hard not to put yourself in the position of Notorious and just look at the stats from the final game.
Yeah.
And just look at all of Cartel. Not a single player going negative. Everyone, well, nearly everyone getting double digits assists. It's so well rounded. It's difficult to see where the Achilles heel is. Yeah. And it's really intriguing, because I went through the entire Halo 5 season throughout from its release in 2015 to when it was, I don't want to say abandoned, but when we left it in the past in 2017, 2018, wondering which lineup was going to take down the likes of Mose, Kimbo, Jimbo, Respectful. And here we have Cartel. Yes, it's online, but it's not even close. No. These games they're not close.
Yeah, they've been called, I've seen a lot of people calling the EU splice, and they just put so much pressure on you off the spawn, and it's so hard to deal with. You're spawning up, getting shots, your shields are already halfway down. And like you said, with Precisionite, when you have someone to put so much damage down, but they have 4 Precisionites is the problem here, Harry.
4 Precisionites. It's the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? Again, I know it's Halloween, but Come on, Precision Nightmares. Good one, Spilly. Producer in the back. Has got our back, making us look smart on stream. Echelon, Oddball. It's now or never for Notorious. We've seen Cartel in the past, I believe, sweep them from 2-0 down. We need to see the same thing from Notorious. It has to happen. And yes, they're demoralized. Yes, they're 2-0 down, but it sounds easier said than done, but they just need to win 3 in a row, Richie. That's all they need to do. That's the goal here. And
I'll tell you something. They're a capable
Kimbo,
roster,
buddy.
but Kimbo. Armband. We're going to need armbands for this map for these Spartans, because it's just going to stop all these problems. The camouflage has been burned, and that's not what you want to see. Kimbo has some slippy boots on, and maybe we need to get some sort of chalk or something, some grip for him, because he had no traction whatsoever up on that ledge.
I mean, if there was an accurate representation of Notorious's season final so far, after losing 3-2 to Mocket in pools, that start from Kimbo is probably the perfect example. SLG, with the early rockets, is obviously going to swing things in Cartel's favor, but they don't have as much ball time as they would have liked, and things are remaining scrappy here. Nice little thrust through the window is going to make things difficult for Snipe Drone, and Snipe Drone can't even clean him up. So Shady coming in with the trade is going to allow slight numbers in favor of Cartel, but, well, Legend is the last alive with the ball. Kimbo's going to try and hunt it down, and that ball is going swimming.
The ball went swimming, and tell you something, Legend actually almost got away with his life as well, incredibly. I wonder if he'd actually juggled the ball, would he have gotten away, but he is taken down and plays the ball smartly. You don't want to be giving these players any opportunity to get back into the game or to get any sort of composure and any sort of control, and done a great job playing the ball and almost getting away with his life as well. But like you say, it's scrappy early doors, and we need to see someone take control, take this game by the scruff of its neck.
Yeah, and if you're Notorious, you're hoping it's you, because otherwise you're finishing top 4 here. Again, we cannot understate this anymore. Legend, that is absolutely ridiculous. How do you get away with 2 kills plus damage on the ball carrier here? Notorious need to do a better job of communicating that kill wasn't cleaned up and to drop and slay. Instead, now ball time's going to go the other way with Camo coming up, rockets coming up. Luckily for Notorious, they slay out. SLG has grabbed the new rockets, but camouflage should go in favor of Notorious. But that's ridiculous from Legend. That's absolutely ludicrous.
I'm gonna need 343 to bring out a patch to nerf Legend. The man is bonkers. Madness, the stuff he's doing, soaring around the map, takes down Snipe Drone as well. Legend again onto Jim. I'm just standing right now. That's all I can do for Legend.
3 kills in a row off screen for a triple, and the camouflage in his chest now as well. Kimbo's about to get back smacked by him. There you go. And it's blowing my mind, Richie, because players don't do this to these players. You know, this is a team that players that mostly went unbeaten throughout Halo 5's lifespan at live events. And yes, again, it's online. You got to take it with an asterisk, whatever. But you just don't do this to Kimbo, Jimbo, Snipe Drone modes. It's an unreal performance, and Legend is going to be one of the best players, if not the best player in Europe come Infinite Time. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
The scary thing is as well is that Cartel are actually doing this against NA teams as well. We've seen recently them beating Spartan the Dogs team in an esports arena cup as well. So they're doing it against international competition, and players obviously as well of huge pedigree in the scene. They just don't seem like they can be stopped or will be stopped anytime soon.
So while we're fanboying over Legend, it is actually Notorious who have the lead, so things are looking up for them, and with Camouflage and Rockets not coming up for another 20 or so seconds, they have a chance again here to try and keep things scrappy and keep this 20-point advantage. And going for the ball without any slays is just going to lead to your demise. You see 3 kills go to Cartel, but just what are Notorious doing? Did they think they were going to get out with the ball easily? That's just one less player putting damage down on the map. Now Cartel have the ball. It's just completely out of sorts here from Notorious, and Cartel, they're creeping back into this game.
The performance just seems so disjointed. It's not what we're used to seeing. It's actually scary. It's Halloween time, I know, but this is a scary performance from Notorious. Like we say, we're just not used to seeing them almost be bullied like this in a series. And of course, there's still time for them to come back. They're level on score almost in the game, and still plenty of time left to turn this series around. But such is the dominance that Cartel have showed throughout the whole tournament, every single cup, it's there's some squad, and frightening, it has to be said.
There was a glimmer of hope there for Notorious as Kimbo grabbed the camouflage, but he was quickly put to no shields and then put to the respawn screen by Seeker. Shady's turn that time around to try and grab the ball with no slays on the board. This time it actually works out in Cartel's favor because he actually moves the ball towards his own team. Notorious, though, slaying out. That's much better from them. 3 down. Shady last alive on the map means he's going to have to just play his life here and just try and pin the Notorious players back. This is going to be a lead change any moment, Richie. This is much better from Notorious. They actually get the slays and they get the ball time to go with it.
Yeah, ball time in the hand, score ticking up all the while, and this is better. This is what we need to see from them, and like we say, fully capable of to get 2 kills onto Cartel. Should be 3, but Legend shuts down Mose in the kill feed. Now Snipe Drone one-on-one with Shady and is taken down with the help of Jimbo as well. Better now. This is what we love to see.
Yeah, the problem is, though, that Mose rotated the ball away from his teammates in a bid to try and stay alive, and now look at the lead for Cartel. They're the ones that actually killed Mose, picked up the ball. It's finally played as SLG is going to try and kill the player, but he goes skydiving as well. Is there power weapons or something down there? Like, why are these players all jumping off the map, man? Come on.
This map is treacherous, and again, we're going to need those wet floor signs out. We're going to see some sort of cases. Have you had an injury at work? Such as the limitations of this map. People going in the drink all the time. Little splashes around the place. Kimbo has rockets in his hand now and almost has the series in his hands as well.
Almost like to see Kimbo maybe play a bit more reactive over towards the camouflage side. You know, camouflage is, as it naturally does throughout a game's lifespan on Oddball, you know, the rockets come up on the minute and camouflage comes up when you pick it up. So this is much better from Kimbo. He knows the timing on that camouflage much better than me, and probably got a shout from his teammates in terms of communication and in terms of when to play towards the camouflage. Legend scraps some time before he goes down. The ball is played and it's all just gone a bit scary, but the important thing for Notorious, Jimbo was able to get away with the camouflage.
Yep, Jimbo expertly got a kill onto the ball carrier and kept himself alive with the camouflage. Gets the backpack, but the ball carrier scoops his way out of there and was not waiting around. Lovely movement from him as well, just evading Jimbo all the while and delaying that. Not only the delay that you keep yourself alive, but all the while you're ticking up the points, and if you win the game by a couple of points at the end, you know why.
Yeah, not only that, you frustrate Jimbo there as well. He wanted to get that kill, get that play, and get that ball as soon as possible. Luckily for Jimbo and co, they were able to slay out and grab the ball, and we might just see another lead change, but it's been played before that happens. This is much closer. This is what we wanted to see out of the first 2 games in this series. And now it's about trying to keep it close right to the death and hope you're the team that gets the final push onto the Oddball as rockets are coming up in 20 seconds time.
As we head towards the latter stages, both these teams touch tight to one another, and it can all come down to one set of power weapons or one camouflage play, but that's exactly where we want to see these teams, is neck and neck. We don't want to see the drubbins, the whitewashes. This is exactly where it needs to be, and although they're up by 20 or so seconds, that could easily swing in favor of Notorious, but Cartel at the moment looking good and looking to make their way towards the finals.
Yeah, that 20-point run came from a 3 down on the side of Notorious, but it might actually come back to bite them as Mose off your screens has the rocket launcher. He's just gone down though without, I believe, getting any kills to his name. Shady with a nice 5 will force the play ball. And it's just not enough to get close to the lead of Cartel, and now Jimbo's being caught by himself. Another team fight won by Cartel. Add that to the ever-growing list of team fights that they come out victorious. Now it's just about trying to fight over towards this side of the map. Camouflage still up. Shady can scoop that one up. Will he get away with his life? No, he will not.
Every time it looks as though Notorious have the answers and they put themselves in the great positions to extend and maybe get some lead and eat away at that 131 points that Cartel have. Cartel just come up with the goods, come up with the answers they need to do. The break is set up, and Shady now has the ball and members in their favour as well as Jimbo. Does he get that play ball? It doesn't look as though he did, and they only need 15 seconds now, Wonderboy. Yeah,
desperation time for Notorious. They were pushing in to try and prevent the ball time coming in for Cartel, and it was a 3-for-1 trade in favour of the French lineup. 1 point to go, and Cartel are advancing to the grand finals. Notorious fail to take a game in this semi-final, they will finish top 4, and Cartel will advance.
Cartel go through to the finals. They're going to come up against Mocket, and it's going to be a tasty, tasty affair. But Power, Notorious, whatever you want to call yourselves, it's not been the series you would hope for when you woke up this morning and you had your breakfast, you had your cornflakes and your cup of tea. Back to the drawing board, which you maybe work out where it all went wrong. And obviously it started at that Mocket roster, and maybe that has transpired and it's gone through and it's still in your head. But this time you don't want to be coming in with any of that extra baggage. You come up against this French roster who have been impeccable, playing flawlessly throughout all of the cups, and now they're going to the finals, and Mocket will have a tough task on their hands here, Wonderboy.
Yeah, they really will. It's so uncharacteristic of these types of players. I mean, we saw a glimpse of the stats. Credit to Jimbo trying to keep his team alive and team in the series. 25 kills, most in the game. 50 seconds of ball time, most on his team. It just was a complete performance from Cartel and a very, very incomplete one from Notorious. Bit of a shame. I would have liked to see a better fight from them. The last 2 times I've seen these 2 teams play in grand finals, it's gone the distance. It's gone to 5. But Notorious, they've looked off today. They lost to Mocket and Pools, and they go out without winning a game in the playoffs.
Now, I will say something to pique your interests in the chat is that every time Wonderboy has been on to cast in a grand finals, it's gone to a game 5. So if he can keep up that, if we can just give Harry some sort of little pat in the head, little rub, and maybe we'll get ourselves another tasty game 5 here.
Yeah, I'm a lucky charm. We'll see if it happens again. Mocket await Cartel in the finals. Should be a closer game than what we just saw, because to be honest with you, I think Mocket are much more up for this grand finals than Notorious were for that semi-final. But if you're watching in the chat and you want MCC nameplates, I will tell you now, there's been very, very low amounts of entries into our Europa Halloween competition on Twitter. Let me tell you what it's about first. If you want your chance to win an MCC nameplate, go to Twitter and use the hashtag Europa Halloween or Europa Halloween. We'll be checking both. Post a picture of your Halloween costume. We'll pick the 3 best ones. And because the entries are so low, you have such a good chance of winning an MCC nameplate. Some of these exclusive ones that you only get from the grassroots tournaments. So if you want a chance, make sure you head over to Twitter, use the hashtag Europa Halloween or Halloween. And if we like your costume, you can get a nice little nameplate. We'll draw it after the grand finals to give people a chance to get in their costumes and actually tweet us some pictures.
Yeah, so with that being said, we're going to take a quick and short break as we get the finals all set up. We get these players into a lobby, and we'll be back very, very shortly.